Um, what about these attacks on Joe Rogan, and what do you make of it?
Well, just speaking about Joe Rogan broadly, nobody with a half a brain thinks that Joe Rogan is a racist. Nobody thinks that Joe Rogan is an agent of misinformation or anything else. What this is all about is that Joe Rogan became more powerful almost accidentally as a comedian who just started talking to people in a podcast. He became more powerful than CNN. He became more powerful than the New York Times, the Washington Post, and everywhere else. That's why everyone's trying to take him out.
I think it's really necessary that we point out that he is obviously one of the most ridiculous people in politics that anyone's ever seen. You know, the guy who, it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you do. You can make fun of me being gay. I don't really care. Smack me in this cheek. Smack me in the other cheek. Smack the liberal out of me. I don't really care. It doesn't matter because we this is American. We have the freedom and the freedom of speech, and you get like whatever it is that this dude is always talking about. I don't know. But it's funny because that doesn't even match into what conservative culture is in this country about being tough guys who will punch you in the face. So what's conservative about that? Here, how about you go ahead and smack me up right there, right good, right hard, right there. Like So again, it's like this guy just from top to bottom is just ridiculous. If I ever meet him, it's going to be pretty funny because I don't think I won't be really mean, but it's going to be really hard. And let me point out that no, Joe Rogan did not become more powerful than the mainstream media. No, he didn't. Come on, guys. Like that's the New York Times, CNN, and also conveniently not Fox News because they're not mainstream media. They're never mainstream media. But again, just the whole angle of this story is stupid because, Joe Rogan, yes, he has a very big platform. The largest podcast in the world, to my knowledge, still, and he is of great influence. Even outside of what he's been in the news for lately, he has a huge variety within his catalog of people that he's brought on. So yes, Joe Rogan is very influential, but he himself is not more powerful and more influential than CNN and New York Times or Fox News or MSNBC. No, he's not. So again, that in and of itself, that's not the issue. The issue has been, yes, there's been elements of politicization, just with Joe Rogan politicizing the vaccine and then elements of the mainstream media politicizing Joe Rogan and what he's doing. But that's the issue. It's what Joe Rogan is doing with vaccine information and vaccine misinformation. It's not that he's bigger than mainstream media because no, he isn't. So what really led Joe Rogan to be in hot water right now with his usage of the N-word throughout his time podcasting is, again, his usage of misinformation with vaccines and how he brings guests on and kind of just makes it like a free-for-all for people to come on and say this or say that. I think he kind of gets ahead of himself and he doesn't really realize how big his reach truly is. Again, it's not as big as mainstream media as a whole, but it is very large. So I think he just doesn't really pay much attention sometimes to, what he's really doing as he's doing it. But again, the footage of him using the N-word, that's been out for years. People have known that. People have seen it before. So, again, the broader issue is, he used the N-word, so let's cancel him. It's since he's gotten his deal with Spotify, he's, kind of amplified his, right-wing guests and his right-wing rhetoric with just questioning the vaccine, which there's nothing wrong with questioning the vaccine. It's just that the way he goes about it, he just really has this megaphone and he ends up, creating these content clips where whether it's him speaking or people that he brings on, this content goes and gets millions and millions of views. So again, I think he just really needs to do a better job with PR and just managing his brand as a whole. But of course, this was a trash take by Dave Rubin because Dave Rubin, as John Iadarola puts it, is the garbage person of the century.